guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford, sunny Clearwater, Florida, and we have that big question. What should you do with your money and your next SUV? Should you go with this 2019 Ford Explorer Sport, or should you wait, be patient, and get the all-new redesigned 2020? So let's talk a little bit about the Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer has been in Ford's lineup for some time now. It really has been that sweet spot in between the smaller SUVs like the Escape and the Edge, and then the bigger ones like the Expedition and once upon a time the Excursion. With this Expedition, especially in the Sport package, I think you're gonna find that it really has a great look to it, and once we get on the inside, a lot of amenities. So let's go ahead and check out what's going on with this 2019 Ford Explorer Sport. So right off the bat, I love the black on this vehicle. Really think it was great how they styled the headlights. And even with the redesign coming, this thing still looks like it's really fresh design-wise. You do have some functional air curtains on the side, and I'm glad to see that they went with a flat black rather than gloss. That's gonna help take a beating better. And I just like the way it looks a little bit more than it all being gloss. Fog lights down low. As we come across the large grille, that's where you're gonna find the gloss black. So with the actual exterior color and that gloss black, it really blends in very well. One of my biggest gripes with the Explorer or any really of the other Ford trucks, like when they do the Limited and whatnot, I'm not really a big fan of the emblems on the hood like this. I wish that this was recessed into the hood, and if you want to put the emblem, then drop it into that recessed area, but I don't like the way it's just sitting right on the front lip of the hood there. But it is a nice gunmetal gray, and I think that with the black, it looks great on the Sport. Just wish it wasn't so raised off of the hood. Large Ford emblem, but all the way just a nice clean look. You have the similar grills down low as up top, just they're flat black. And I think that's gonna be better for you in the long run because it's gonna take a bigger beating from pebbles, rocks, and debris and whatnot. As we come around the corner, you can see the flat black all the way around the fender well. And then this is really one of my favorite things on this particular Ford Explorer is I love these wheels. Great look, like the way they're all blacked out, really works well. This is a 20-inch wheel, so great size wheel. And I think we'd agree, even with the blacked out Ford center caps, just really has that stealth blacked out look that's so very popular with so many different vehicles today. As we go down the side, what's great about this Explorer is when you look at the overall height, remember I'm 6 feet tall, it's got a pretty good height to it, so this is gonna give you that nice secure feeling as you're driving down the road, sitting up a little bit higher. But they put the black on the mirrors. You have some LED turn signals built into the mirrors as well. And as we work our way down, think it's smart, color matched on the Sport. Door handles, also black on the roof rails. And then as we drop down, a little bit of black in between the flat black. You have the gloss and then a little bit of the flat black. And I really think that it really kind of makes a nice cohesive side view of the Explorer. As we continue down the side, I really like the shape of the rear quarter window. And another thing that I think is smart is there's no trim around it. So with the black paint, it kind of just blends in effortlessly as we go down to the rear quarter. And then to wrap it out back, you have your Sport badge, LED taillights, which is really looking good. This is that EcoBoost. So remember, we have a twin turbo V6 underneath the hood. And then dropping down, here's another way to tell from the back of this vehicle that it's a Sport, the quad tip exhaust. This is what I see lacking on so many other vehicles. Glad to see they didn't do like a vacuum cleaner style. Quad exhaust looks great. Flat black here with some gloss black and then a nice flat black up top. So it's gonna take a beating. But why don't we go ahead, pop that hood and check out the EcoBoost motor. All right guys, here we are underneath the hood of the 2019 Ford Explorer Sport. Now, one thing to realize for 2020, they're bringing back rear-wheel drive. Of course, you'll have also all-wheel drive as an option, but this particular Sport has the all-wheel drive option, but that's that EcoBoost motor. At the end of the day, you're looking at a 3.5 liter V6 twin turbocharged. This thing puts out 365 horsepower, 350 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in about 6.1 seconds. It weighs in at 4,901 pounds. And if you're wondering about MPGs, 16 in the city, 22 on the highway. I'm gonna zonk it in a couple ways. First of all, I don't like this engine cover. Very, very ugly looking cover. I know a lot of people aren't gonna take their SUV to the car show, but hey, when I pop the hood on my vehicles, I like to see something that is attractive. And then very surprising, on this bigger SUV, they're still using a hood prop rod. I would like to see the hydraulic struts just to make life easier when popping that hood. But let's go ahead, fire this up and see what the EcoBoost sounds like. Alright guys, interior time of this Ford Explorer Sport. If you're wondering, well Joe, I'm liking it, but what about the price? Now this thing has lots of incentives and rebates, but the MSRP, that's what I'm going to quote you, is around $51,000 MSRP. But definitely give Tracy a call, because I'm telling you, they're blowing these out because the 2020s are coming. So big money savings going the 2019 route. Let's go to the door panels. I think they're drop dead gorgeous. Now there is a lot of black, but I like the faux carbon fiber, and I love that brushed aluminum look trim, even around the speaker covers. Another thing is, if Tom could show you how the speaker cover and stuff curves. I really like that, especially when the doors are closed. The red contrast stitching is absolutely perfect, and the armrest is really, really soft to the touch, so I'm loving that. As we transition from the door panel to the dash, nice soft material. And then here is, like I said, they carried in that faux carbon fiber. I'll pick this up. You can see the nice Explorer name embossed right into the trim there. As we come around to the center console and the infotainment screen, you have the Sync 3 system. The graphics are a little dated, but I'm telling you, this system works really, really, really well. You do have cameras on the vehicle for when you're parking and going through tight areas so that you can see out the front and whatnot. It is a harder plastic here, but if you notice, look what they did. They took the nice trim and they brought it in. On a lot of other models, even on Fords, I've seen more of the black plastic here, and I don't like that. I do like what they did here. Really gives it a nice high upscale feel. I like the silver volume knob in the center, and you can see that this comes fully loaded, ventilated, and heated seats, dual climate control, really done nicely. As we get down to the center console, very, very nice what is going on here. So you have your actual lid, there it opens, where you have a good sized cubby, USB, and it closes ever so nicely. So I do like that with the sync badge for the sync system. This shifter, this is what's going to be controlling that transmission. I do like the design of the shifter, the leather boot, the silver trim, very nice touch. And there's more of that nicer finish. Rather than just a black plastic, they have some black plastic here, but they have the silver, and they also taper in some of that other material to give it a higher scale feel. This is going to get you through your different driving modes, from snow to sand. Remember, this has all-wheel drive, which is going to make you nice and secure and keep you safe and planted. Wonderful armrest. Red contrast stitching. Open this bad boy up. You got plenty of space. Another USB, a 12 volt there. Very nicely done. And then these seats, super comfortable. I love the perforated center. Same thing with the red stitching. They keep that theme throughout. Some cars drop the ball. This thing keeps it going. The only issue I have, major issue with the interior, is there's no type of sunroof whatsoever. So it is a little dark in here with the darker headliner and the rest of the interior. But why don't you come on over to the driver's side and I'll show you the business end behind this wheel. Come on over. All right, guys, business end inside the 2019 Ford Explorer Sport. I'm telling you, I really like the touches, the way this curves in. And you'll see when we drive it, when you close the door, it really looks very seamless from door to dash. Seats, obviously, you're going to have full 8-way adjustable electric seats. I like the Explorer nameplate on the sill. This does light up. Blue LED, you can't see it right now because of the Florida sun, but I promise you it is there. Steering wheel. It's a little hit or miss for me. I wish the leather was a little bit softer, and I don't like the horn button. But other than that, I do like the trim that's here, and I like these buttons because they're very easy to use, and they're not like rubbery or anything like that like we've seen on some other cars. When it comes to the dash, you have the speedometer smack dab in the center, and then on the left there you have a digital display with your tachometer. You could go through different style of gauges, find out all different information about your Explorer Sport, and on the right you have your navigation, which is really nice. But overall, well laid out. Seating position is great. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom in here. That's not an issue. Let's see if there's any issues for the passengers behind us. All right, guys, that mid-row of the Ford Explorer Sport, I'm actually quite surprised. To be honest, this is my first time in an Explorer of any recent years, and it's quite comfortable back here. Remember, 6 feet tall, so I got plenty of headroom. These seats are great, very comfortable. You could actually slide them, which is wonderful, and also recline them as well. So you're gonna get that versatility and variety in different seating positions. I like the way the whole seat is covered in leather. You got a nice pouch, and then check out the command center. You have rear AC back here, which is wonderful. You got 2 USBs and a home power supply source right there. And there's your cup holders. Very nice, convenient, hidden away. These are great. There's no actual armrest, so that is a zonk for me. That normally I zonk it anyways because the captain's chairs they have such a skinny little armrest. These have none, so definitely that's going to be the biggest zonk. I do like the AC in the ceiling. I know some people don't like it when it's blowing on your face, but I think the placement of these is really good to where you could actually angle it on your body. Now, here's the big question. How do you get into the third row? I'm going to go ahead and kind of just squeeze here. And then to show it off, we'll flip that down. So here I am. It is a little tight. Now, one thing to realize is, first of all, I have the headrest in my back. You don't want to do that. You flip that up real easy. Here, I'll flip this one up too so you can see. You know, for being 6 feet tall, I am a little cramped. It will get me to my destination, but this is really meant for somebody smaller. You do have these nice areas for drinks and snacks and all that good stuff, and the AC vents go all the way back to the third row. Headrests are a little funky looking. They're real big and they almost look like a paddle. I'm starting to have flashbacks to when I was in elementary school. But my problem with these third rows is that the plastic is rock hard and you're gonna have to sit like this, which I guess I'm already cramped, so I might as well just squeeze myself a little bit more. But I would say people less than 6 feet tall are gonna be okay sitting back here. Somebody like myself, you better get me to my destination or I'm gonna start complaining real quick. Let's go ahead and check out the cargo area and see if we have any complaints there. All right, guys, the tail end of the business. We open up the cargo area. Nice power assist lift. Not too slow, not too fast. Here's where it gets interesting. So when you go into the back, you actually have a nice dip here. So when you're lifting your items up, they're gonna drop down into here. You might be able to fit a small stroller, but I think it's gonna be tough just because it's not very wide. Now, if you wanna drop the seats down, you go ahead and pull that for the headrest, and then to put them down, you're gonna go ahead and hit the buttons here, which is gonna cause them to fold down. Electric assist. This is kind of cool. They're doing like a little, whoa, look at that. So that's why they have that drop down section, because now that we have that row down, you could have plenty of flat space. And that's the thing that I like, is that the transitions are totally flat. We've been in some other vehicles where it kind of gets a little ripply, and I'm not really liking that, especially when you're trying to slide things in and out. You do have a 12 volt back here, which is nice, and there's all your selections for the different ways of seating with the car. But if you want to go ahead and flip them back, you could go this way, flip them around, and then you could go back to that setup. Or you could then bring the seats all the way back up again. So it's really wonderful that you have options, and at the end of the day, you close her up, and if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and take this one for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2019 Ford Explorer Sport. We're talking about, is it time to get down to Walker Ford now and get a 2019, or wait for the 2020? Let's see what the loud pedal says. So So very quick acceleration coming from that EcoBoost V6. It did take a second for the gearbox to drop down, but once it dropped, we were off and running, and you really did feel the overall sensation. Now remember, this one has the optional all-wheel drive system, which is going to help get that power to the ground with no drama. Now, behind the steering wheel, there are very small plastic paddles if you want to shift through your own gears, but like I say many other time, most people are just going to leave it in drive and just let the gearbox do all the work. One big difference that's going to be major when it comes to the interior from the 2019 to the 2020 is the shifter. The actual shifter in the 2019 is exactly that. It's an actual shift handle rather than the rotary dial. So the new Ford Explorer is going to have that rotary dial that many other Ford products have, including the Shelby GT500, and some people are not really digging that. I guess at the end of the day, what it does is it cleans up the center console area. For me, I've never really had an issue with having a shift lever, but I could see why they're going to the rotary dial to try to clean up the area. I do like, though, like I said, the extra finishes around the center console and infotainment section really gives it a nice upscale feel in the Sport, and just very, very smooth and quiet for sure. Lots of headroom and lots of room overall for the driver and the passenger up front. And the steering has a nice weight to it, which is great to see. But just driving through this business traffic, very comfortable. We got the ventilated seats on. They're nice and supportive, and but without feeling too soft. That's the great balance. Some cars, you get into them, it feels like you're sitting on a waterbed. This thing has some support, but it also has the comfort there too, to where you could drive this car for hundreds of miles and not have any aches and pains and feel right at home. Dash is simple. It looks great when you look down, especially like I have it set up to show the digital tachometer, and you have your compass and navigation over to the right, and the speedometer smack dab in the center. And then I'm really a big fan of how the sides of the door panels, like I keep pointing out, wrap around and integrate into the actual front portion of the dash. Very, very nice. I do like that as well when it comes to just a nice cohesive package. All right, guys, so we're driving this car on this 6-lane highway, very smooth. Cabin is quiet. Passengers are happy in the back. Lots of nice amenities. And really, from an appearance standpoint, I'm not really the biggest SUV guy, but this is one I would drive with no problem because it looks pretty sick in all black, the way that it is with this particular option one. But just very smooth, and visibility is great in this thing. Even with smaller mirrors, the mirrors aren't exactly the biggest, but they do give you some great visibility. Let's check out the all-wheel drive system here. On the brakes, brakes feel good. Tip it in, on throttle. Rolling out. We got the motorcycle parade here. You just never know what you're gonna see on a Rady's Rides drive, especially when it comes to our drives at Walker Ford. Lots of interesting things that we get to see when it comes to vehicles and people's driving ability, that's for sure. But we're gonna go ahead and get into another little turn here, because I really want to show off just how great the all-wheel drive system is in this Explorer Sport. I think you're gonna be quite impressed. So we're coming down here. On the brakes, feels good. Tip it in, around the bend. Just sticks. It just sticks like Gorilla Glue. And remember, this thing is 4,900 pounds. So we got the power down and we're gone. Very nicely done. This is something that's gonna surprise you. If you don't think of an SUV as sporty and with some power, getting behind the wheel of this 2019, you may wanna go ahead and get it now and not wait for the 2020s. Just from that standpoint alone, the all-wheel drive system is wonderful. You have the different modes through that rotary dial that we showed you, depending on what the surface is, but nice sound from the engine. Would I like a little bit more exhaust note? Yes, of course, but we gotta look at what it is. But overall, a nice,
sporty package. It's definitely not just an emblem, that's for sure. Great grip from the front. I'm telling you, the front end of the business on this thing really feels good, and you feel in control the whole entire time, rolling away on throttle. Like I said, that gearbox, I wish it was just a little bit quicker. The downshift, it's like I'm waiting. I was able to go grab a sandwich and come back, and then we were off and going. That would be my biggest zonk. Other than that, quite impressed with this car, especially because it's the outgoing design. So something you definitely want to take a look at. But we're going to go ahead. Hopefully we answered your questions with this drive. We're going to hurry up and get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up, because we have more fantastic, fun, fabulous, fanatic type Fords to bring you. So think about all those words, and I'll be right back.
All right, guys, been another wonderful day here at Walker Ford. Definitely got to give a huge thank you to Frank Walker, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Austin, Mark, Denise, Greg, everybody here. Kevin is so accommodating and so welcoming to Rady's Rides. If these are the types of things that you like to see on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. Check out all my different forms of social media. If you want to get yourself some merch, click the link in the description. Takes you right to Spreadshirt. We got to give it up to the man of the hour, Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner. He helped actually detail this car and ate lunch at the same time. So he's doing everything and the business. Check him out at Mosh Photos for all of his pictures of his biceps and calves and thighs. But thank you, Tom, like always. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.